Now we will do, say, 5 minutes breathing meditation. Okay, those of you who are already familiar with whatever meditation, say breathing meditation, or say the meditation on observing the mind, or meditation on the Buddha image, whatever, it's fine. You can do it in your own ways. Where those who are doing for the first time, the easiest would be meditation on the breath. That is the easiest. At the same time, it has a tremendous benefit, first of all, to calm down our mind. One. And then eventually, this practice, if you are very consistent with it, it has the effect in bringing about, reviving increasing the part of the memory. So there are so many positive effects to this. And then of course, agitation will be subsided. This is another very important benefit of that. Okay, with that in mind, since that I know there are some of you who are very young, may not be into this meditation before, maybe this is your first time. So for those of you who are doing this for the first time, here is a very quick guidelines. 1, sit upright, body upright. Body should not be rigid. Body should not be bent. Body should be simply upright. Body should be upright. At the same time, it should be flexible. Body should be flexible and upright. And then your legs, cross-legged or whichever, it doesn't matter, it's fine. Whatever is fine. Okay. Body should be upright and eyes should not be closed. Eyes should be 45 degrees cast down. Eyes should be 45 degrees cast down. And the tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate. The tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate. And with your right hand on your left hand, and the tips of the two thumbs joining, forming a triangle, and the two hands should be restfully placed on your laps. The two hands should be restfully placed on your laps. Okay, and then breathe very naturally. Okay. Now with that in mind, the next point is the focal point. What should you be meditating on? So that is the place in between your nose and the upper lip. And in fact, there are so many versions. Don't feel yourself congested or confined to one system. There are so many systems. So one of which is just placing your focus between your nose and the upper lip, just in between the ear. That is the place where you should be focusing. So meanwhile, this is also a multitasking. While you focus mind there, simultaneously count your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 1. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 2. And in 5 minutes, see how many cycles you could follow. In some cases, it could be just 16. Otherwise, others would be like, say, 103, 108, 80s, 90s, depending on the length of the breath that you have, natural length of the breath. And don't impose your breath. Let the breath flow very naturally. This is so important. Okay. Then, more important than that is to give a quality to your meditation. How to do that? Particularly the beginning meditations, they are prone to fall prey to the two flaws of meditation. One is mental excitement or mental wandering. Your mind may start wandering here and there. This is mental excitement. And the other one is mental laxity, where your mind is below the average of the activity, below the average of the alertness, where your mind feels lax, torpor, and very heavy. Okay, so these are the two flaws of meditation. We need to, and of course, we are prone to these two, and should you see that you are falling prey to these two, and it's the two, then it is very important for us to resort to the two remedies. What are the two remedies? One is mental introspection, another one is mindfulness. Introspection and mindfulness. Introspection is observing your mind to see whether your mind is still on the focal point, or that is already distracted or in the lax state. Should we see that your mind is through this introspection? Should we see that your mind is distracted or in a lax state? Then apply the second remedy. The second remedy is mindfulness. And how you apply the mindfulness? Mindfulness should be treated seen as a road. If you see that you lost your dog, then you look for the dog with the help of the introspection. When you see the dog, then what we do is that we try to tie the dog with the rope, bring it back, and tie it to the pillar at home. Likewise, when you see that your mind is distracted or in a lax state, then you apply the mindfulness as a rope to bring the mind back to the intended object of the focus and tie it there. So this is how we should be doing. And those of you who want to do the meditation on the Buddha image, then you look at the Buddha image well. You will look at the Buddha image, the picture of the book, picture of the cover of the book, you look at it there. So this is, and then after looking at it, then keep it aside, keep it away, and then you meditate on it. Okay, so this is what we're doing. And those of you who are familiar, there's no need for me to give any guidance. Simply be watchful of the two flaws, mental excitement and mental activity. Okay, with that in mind, 5 minutes. Are you ready? The Bodhisattva Shantideva offers us a meditation to look at, rather than looking at from your angle towards others, you learn how to look at you from the other's angle, from the angles of others, right? So now, who is that person who is so jealous of others, who is so scornful of others, and who is so competitive with others, right? So who is that? Who is that? I, right? Keep that I there, and you be on the other side, on the side of the sentient beings. Now what you do is that, imagine, if you think that, oh, I'm the most important person, right? If you think that, you have this sense of ego. Then if somebody comes to be so envious, jealous of you, are you happy? You are not at all happy. And then if you see the other person, you are in the same position, and there's such a competition from the other side, are you happy? You're not happy, right? And then likewise, if you're inferior and the other person, they are superior, and they are being so contemptuous, they simply treat you as so inferior, are you happy? No, they simply ignore you. Are you happy? Never. So now, what you should be doing is that we should make this sense of self, a self-centered attitude, very unhappy, by making, you being with others, and then looking at yourself, and being very jealous when you are superior, and being competitive when you are equal, and being scornful when you are inferior, right? So this is meditation. You got it, right? You got it. Let me say this again, and if you misunderstand it, if you mistake it, it could be very dangerous. Oh, what did I do? I went to Tibet for the first time, and it taught me how to be jealous towards others, and it taught me how to be competitive towards others. No, this is to crush our jealousy. This is to crush our three poisonous emotions. What are the three poisonous emotions? Jealousy, competitiveness, and scornful. Okay, in the process of crushing these three emotions, what are we doing? We are crushing the self-centered attitude. And in the process of crushing the self-centered attitude, what are we doing? We're taking out the poison within your body, within your mind, taking the poison. Once the poison is taken out, then you can expect to heal properly, right? And the genuine happiness will seep in you. Okay, this is the idea. Okay, with that in mind, did you follow what I'm saying? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Krishna, I had one small experience which is linked to this. Once I had a jealousy, and I observed it very distinctly that jealousy came up and completely separate from me. Just jealousy. It was the first time I saw it's different from I. And when I looked at it, I was very excited. So when I looked at it, it was as a result of this class. And when I looked at it, after some time it went in. The experience was not that it disappeared. It was as though it went in and again nicely settled in, not that it went out.
Okay, so we need to look for remedies. If the remedy is not there, then again it will go in. You have to apply the remedies. Once you see them, first seeing that itself is a great success. Once you see that, then we have to apply the remedies. Right? Okay. Now we'll read this. Page 112. Page 112. Stanza 140. Page 112. Stanza 140. And keep in mind that this class has been going on for the last many months. So those who are coming here for the first time, either there are two possibilities. One is to get the recordings of this class, and then another possibility would be just read through this yourself, and then should you have any problem, you can contact me for questions. Okay. 140. Considering lesser beings and so forth as myself, and considering myself as the other. Just we change the two. Change the two. Say you are here on the right hand side, and all other sentient beings are on the other side. Then you imagine that this self, in other words, you try to be on the other side, right? And then when you look at this you becomes he or she, others. And the ones you treat as others, they become you. So that's how we should be doing, right? Okay. Considering lesser beings and so forth as myself, and considering myself as other, in the following way, I should meditate upon envy, competitiveness, and self-importance. Self-importance meaning that I'm superior. Okay. With a mind free of distorted concepts, meaning where you are very clear. You are very clear what you're doing. What you're doing. That okay, I'm meditating on this, view myself as others and others as me, and then meditate on this. So with this very clear mind, where the blurriness in your thought should not come in the way. One for one. Okay, now the first one is meditation on the envy. Envy. You envy or jealousy. You as other sentient beings, and this original you as someone who is very successful. Then you as taking the being in the shoes of the other sentient being, you are looking at this original self, yourself, and seeing that he or she is so successful, and me and my group, sentient beings, we are so low. Then you practice jealousy. That is to crush the ego the sense of ego in your original self. He is honored, but I'm not. I've not found wealth such as he. He is praised, but I'm despised. He is happy, but I suffer. I have to do all the work while he remains comfortably at rest. He is renowned as great in this world, but say if you are a girl, then say she. She's renowned as great in this world, but I is inferior, with no good qualities at all. Okay, then, so these are the realities. Imagine you as the self, the he or she, you as the self, who is very successful, and other beings who are low. At times you come in a situation where you are more relatively more successful and others are inferior. Under such situation, then you try to be in the shoes of others, you try to be on the side of the other sentient beings, and then you keep yourself as a separate entity, and then you try to practice jealousy towards yourself. Okay, 143. But what do you mean? I have no good qualities. Now, you in the form, you with the sentient beings, you're consoling yourself. I'm saying that, but what do you mean? I have no good qualities. I have all good qualities. Compared to many, he is inferior. And even this, this I, who seems to be very haughty, seems to be very egoistic and very successful businessman, successful, academician or successful leader, whatever. In which case, so this, with compared to many, he is inferior. Compared to many, I'm also high. Although he, this self considers the sentient beings as low, but as compared to many others, even the low person becomes high. So it's all relative phenomena. 144. The deteriorated state of my morals and views is not due to me, but due to my disturbing conceptions. Should they be mental agitations, disturbance, affliction, and so forth, and then it's saying that it is because of my disturbing emotions, afflictive emotions. In whatever way he's able, he should. So now, if one person says that, okay, you're just nothing, and I'm more important than you, then what is your response? If the other person has nothing to do with you, if the other person has no role to play to, say, help you, or if the other person contributes to you nothing, contributes nothing to you, then what is your response? Even if the other was so successful, what would you say? Who cares? Right? Who cares? So what is there that he's so, okay, it's fine, he's very successful, but who cares? Who cares? Why should I consider you as so special? Because you have nothing to do with me. I'm sorry, just go away. This is our response, right? Okay, so what he's saying is that in whatever way he is able, he should heal me. Willingly, I shall accept my discomfort involved. In fact, if that person, the self, is actually you're talking to the self. If this self, is so haughty and so arrogant towards you, towards the other sentient beings, then for you to really comply with this self, for you to really surrender like that, then this self should be helping you in some ways. If it doesn't help, what's the deal? What's the great deal that he is so successful, right? In reality, if that self really contributes and helps the sentient beings, then willingly I shall accept my discomfort involved. But I'm not being healed by him. But this self, the very egoistic self, I, is not at all helping sentient beings. So why does he belittle me? What use are his good qualities to me? He may be so rich, but what? But what? It has nothing to do with me. He may be so educated, so professional in his knowledge, but what's the point? It has no benefit to me. What use are his good qualities to me? Although he has good qualities, he does not benefit me. With no compassion for the beings who dwell in the poisonous mouth of harmful realms, externally he is proud of his good qualities and wishes to put down the wise. So, you are just talking to yourself. That you look up externally, superficially, you may be so famous, you may be so popular, you may be so successful. But then what's the use of that? And then, because of this, what do? You try to compete with your colleagues. You try to fight with the people who are more famous than you, who are more popular than you. So actually, you're talking to yourself. Okay. 147. Sorry. In order that I may excel, he who is regarded as equal with me. Now, 147 is with equals. So meditating on what? Competitiveness with your equals. So say you as the original self is there, and the other sentient beings on the other side, and then you siding the sentient beings. and then you're looking at yourself, and when you see that you are more equal with knowledge, with any kind of degree of success, then how to meditate on the competitiveness or competition. 147. In order that I may excel he who is regarded as equal with me, I shall definitely strive to attain material gain and honor for myself, even by such means as a verbal dispute with that person. By all means, I shall make clear to the entire world all the good qualities I have, but I shall not let anyone hear of any good qualities he may have. Right? So this is what we actually do. Right? So when there's some competition there between you and others, then you try to promote yourself, you try to speak all good things about yourself, and even if the other person who's equal to you has so many good qualities, you try to keep them all as though like it did not exist. This is how we do. So now we do it in the opposite way. Instead of doing it on others, you do it on yourself. Right? So this is how we crush our self-centered attitude. This is a brilliant thing. Okay, 148. By all means, I shall make clear to the entire world all the good qualities I have. Who is this I? The sentient beings, right? Now I will make the qualities of sentient beings become widely known to all others, and I will you become angry towards yourself, in the sense that I will try to hide all the good qualities that this self has, but I shall not let anyone hear of any good qualities he or this self may have. 149. Also I shall hide all my faults. I will be venerated, but not he. By doing this, by making your qualities come out and hiding your good qualities, hiding your bad qualities, hiding your faults, and then letting others' faults come out and letting the good qualities remain not disclosed. That way, I will be venerated. Who is this I? Sentient beings will be venerated. And then not he, not this person, the self, not the self. I will find a great deal of material gain. I'll be honored, but he shall not. Okay, now 150 is meditating on the scorn, meditating on the contempt, or the scorn. Towards when the sentient beings are superior and you are inferior, then you meditate on the scorn, or you meditate on the contempt towards yourself. Okay, 150. For a long time I shall look with pleasure at his being made inferior. Who is he? The self. Inferior. He will become the laughing stock of all and regarded among everyone as an object of scorn and derision. Derision is disdain or scorn. Okay. So say if somebody makes you a laughing stock, right? And then people start ridiculing you, and people start laughing at you, and being contemptuous of you. What is your reaction? There's a tremendous anger, irritation, sadness coming at us. Now, when that happens, when such thing, of course, this is very difficult practice. If such a thing happen, that some people they are making fun of you, then they are ridiculing you. On such situation, you think of this practice. That, okay, now I'm on the side of these sentient beings, right? I'm now talking against myself. So now they are ridiculing me. In fact, I'm ridiculing to him, right? So then instead of saying, oh, I'm so agitated, I'm being belittled by them. Instead of thinking like this, oh, I'm so happy that this person is being ridiculed by us. 151. It is said that this deluded one is trying to compete with me. So say now you are talking to yourself, the self who is inferior to you, self who is inferior to the sentient beings. Now you as the sentient beings, you are talking to the self. Then it is said that this deluded one, this self, is trying to compete with me. How can this inferior being compete with me? But how can he be equal with me in learning, intelligence, form, class, or wealth? From every respect, he is inferior. So how can he possibly think of competing with me? 152. Thus, upon hearing of my good qualities that have been made well known to all, I shall thoroughly enjoy the satisfaction of the pleasant tingling sensation that occurs within me. Right? We were talking about sentient beings. 153. Even though he has some possessions, if he is working for me, now this self as the inferior, and then this self perhaps as your servant, this self as the servant of the sentient beings. Even though he has some possessions, if he is working for me, I shall give him just enough to live on, and by force I will take the rest. So you are the sentient being, you are talking to yourself, saying that I will treat you badly. So what will you react? How will you react? Sadness, anger, and so forth. So meanwhile, think how we are vulnerable on the one hand, how we are vulnerable. The moment people treat you badly, immediately anger and so forth comes in you, which means that you are under the control of the other people's reaction. We don't have to control ourselves. So the remote control is in the hand of the other people. The other people, the moment they are scornful of you, we become agitated, we become angry, right? Which means that the remote control is in the hands of the other person. We cannot control ourselves. So whereas the real practice is such that any person may talk badly about you, may talk very highly of you, may be competitive, may be angry towards you, may be jealous of you, but your happiness should not be stirred. If that happens, this is the mark of your success of the practice. Okay. 154. His happiness and comfort will decline, and I shall always cause him harm. For hundreds of times in this cycle of rebirth, he has caused harm to me. So this self, this is very true. This self, myself, I'm, every one of us, just speak, when I say I, think of yourself. How much we have created so much of pain and distress and fear and so much in others. For example, how many of us, include myself, how many of us have been to KFC? Right? Which means that, and what is that thing we are enjoying? Okay, this is what I'm very serious. And in fact, just this morning, I was so fascinated. I called a call from one of my friends in Canada. And then he was talking to me about updating me with his Dharma practice. And then he told me that he got one clip of one very young girl, age 4, 5, and her father gave some meat as with her food. The moment she saw the meat, she started crying. She said, "I'm not going to eat pork. I'm not going to eat chicken. I'm not going to eat mutton. I like the pigs. I like the chicken. I like these, the hens. I like these, the animals. How dare you kill these animals?" She's crying. This young girl. She's crying and fighting with the father. Said, "How dare people dare to kill these animals? They are so beautiful. How dare that you are harming them?" This is how this young girl, age 5, is talking. She's maybe Canadian or American, I don't know. Such an imprint of compassion from the past lives. Amazing, amazing. So what I'm saying is that, so this is very true. Say, for hundreds of times in this cycle of rebirth, he has caused harm to me. Meaning that we have caused so much of harm on others. Say like KFC or eating meat, right? All these things, we see that it is only possible at the cost of someone else's life. At the cost of someone else's life. Right? Okay. So I'll share you one story. So this will be not really story, it's more the real life experience. One of my teachers who was a Geshe colleague of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And later on, His Holiness also received many teachings from him. Now he passed away. He passed away in his late 80s. Once he was sick. It was not that he was not eating meat. It was not that he was not eating meat. He did eat, he used to eat meat, just very, very, very rare. And once, when he was terribly sick, the teacher, he was terribly sick, and then I was honored to be a part of this service to him in attending or helping him in hospitals. There, his chief attendant, of course, the chief attendant was not so learned, and the chief attendant, being very concerned about his health, and he had a very fragile health. And then after the medical checkup, then for lunch we went to a restaurant. Then the chief attendant ordered one chicken soup for the venerable teacher. The moment the teacher sensed that chicken soup was ordered for him, he scolded the attendant. Saying that, "Do you think that I'm so fond of chicken?" This is how he scolded the attendant. Then the attendant, then the chicken soup was coming. He could not. He did not know what to do. Then he was asking. I was not always with the venerable teacher. I just come every now and then, only to receive teachings and then to help him. Otherwise, it was not. Then he could not do anything with this, chicken broth. Then he was telling me, again meaning, sir, me, right? Because he think that venerable teacher may not scold me because he is there. I was more coming from outside. And again, you have it. There said no, because I'm also received scold. At those days, I was eating meat. I was non-vegetarian. I said no, but then, he did not know what to do with this. Then venerable teacher was just watching, and then he did not know what it was, and finally he rejected the soup. Then the teacher told me, and then that was purely, advice given to me. He said, think very carefully before you eat meat. And this was advice that he gave me. He said that this broth, what is this broth? Just one bowl. And what is this? In what way you see that this has the potential to heal your body? It's just one broth. At the same time, then the karma, negative karma that you accumulate by taking just one broth, one bowl of the broth of the chicken, is just 1,000,000 times. And how he was explaining, the same container in which this broth was boiled, how many millions of chickens gone there? Boiled, 2-3 chickens there, and it's a big restaurant. 2-3 chickens boiled there, and the next day 2-3 chickens, or not just 2-3 chickens, the same day, so many chickens boiled there. Same day. And then how many days, how many months, how many years calculate, is what he said. So just what you are having, this actually contains the negative karma of eating millions of chickens. And then finished, done. So what I'm saying is that this is very true. This is very true. The little fun, the little enjoyment that we think that we're enjoying is at the cost of someone else's life. So this is how we are, whether directly or indirectly, we are involved in harming others. And then I think with 1 or 2 incidents, and then I stopped eating meat altogether. And then it's very true. Particularly when I was going through medical checkup, when I had the tuberculosis problem, when I had the first severe pain in the lungs, and then what is that? Any nurses sitting us there? FNAC. Any nurses? Doctors? Yes, doctors. Yeah. FNAC. Fine needle. Aspirational. Psychology. Okay. What?
Cytology.
Cytology. Fine needle, aspirational, cytology. Right? So a doctor is here. what is the needle like? Is it like a very big needle? No, it's very fine needle. The label is a fine needle, FNAC. Fine needle, it's very fine. And then when the needle was inserted through the lungs, first they gave me what? Anesthesia, local anesthesia. That what for? That I will not have that pain. So local anesthesia was given, and then the needle was put. Then while the needle was put with the local anesthesia, I could feel the pain, terrible pain. And the warning given to me by the what do you call that? The person who does it?
Anesthesiologist.
No. The other one, no. It is radiologist. A radiologist, when he was explaining before, he said, okay, he was explaining all the procedures to me, right? Then after explaining the procedure, then he said, okay, should you have any question, ask it now. Once the procedure started, you are not entitled to ask even a single question. That was his, guideline to me. Then I didn't have any question. I said, okay, fine, now you can, do. Then the procedure started. Then he said, okay, then where he was going to put the needle, there, he marked it not with the black permanent marker. He marked it with it differently. How? The needle cover, he put it on it, and then he was pressing it like this. It's like a piece of cake. Yeah, he was doing like this. That mark can be there, and maybe a red mark could be there. I could feel it. It's fine. Then he said, okay, now the anesthesia given. Then after that, the needle piercing through the lungs. So he said, oh, the needle. Now, okay. Then when the needle was inserted, I could feel the feeling that I was getting was as though like the boulders were just, crushing me. That feeling was what I was going through. And then he said that, okay, if you move an inch, then the whole procedure we have to repeat. Okay, so out of there, as I was like, whole boulder is just crushing me like this. This was the feeling that I was getting. And then after that, the needle was there, and the needle kept there. With that, then I was put into the scan. He said that don't move. If you move, all these procedures will have to repeat. No movement. Like then, after coming back, pain was excruciating. And then, when the procedure was completed, then I just got up. And then, when thinking about how painful it is, what is it? Is it a knife or is it a sword? No, it's a very fine needle. And even for that, there's local anesthesia to quell my pain. Still, the pain is there. If that is what is going with me, then what about the poor chickens? It's just whole throat being slit. No anesthesia. And it's not just a fine needle, it's a whole knife. Right? And then no anesthesia. Then I thought it is totally unfair on the human beings to eat chickens. And likewise eat any meat. And then, after all these procedures finished, then I got up, and then there was one Tibetan nurse who was attending me. I told the girl, okay, it is too much on the part of the human beings to eat the meat. And look at the pain which I was going through. It's so excruciating. And I was expressing everything to the girl, and I asked the girl whether you were eating meat. And she said, yes. Is it possible that you can give up eating meat? She said, I will give up. And she stick to that. She stuck to that for too long, for very long. Even now, very likely, because last time I met, I came to know that she was still vegetarian. So what I'm saying is that what is said here is very true. It says that for hundreds of times in this cycle of rebirth, he has caused harm to me, meaning that this person, has caused so much harm on others. So I'm not saying that we all should turn to vegetarian now. This is not what I impose. No, this is not, this is not advisable. So what I would suggest, see how much you can slowly refrain from taking non-vegetarian. See how much you can do that, number one. And then if you are doing it, say, so regularly, make it less frequent. Make it less frequent.